Hey guys, Quinn. Today in a list I've been waiting to do for a while, the top 10 dumbest, most obscure, ridiculous kills in the James Bond series. This is the best of the best, people, whether it takes place in space, in an ocean, or even against an animal. There has been some pretty cringeworthy deaths in the series, so let's count off the best of the best, or worst depending on how you look at it, in the series. But first we have our honorable mentions. This was tough, but we narrowed it down to four that are terrible for all the right reasons. First, you have the title star in the film, Goldfinger. His battle with Bond is fine enough, but his amazingly fake cutaway to a miniature plane falling in his actual death when he gets sucked into the plane is just, well, it's fantastic, but almost as bad as that is our second pick. The man who cannot die from Live and Let Die. The reason he's here is because he's clearly murdered several times in this movie, whether it be from a snake, a gun, or gravity. He's literally as durable as Jaws is a few films later, but there's no reason he actually survives anything, even though he dies, but he can't die, which makes no sense because he's on this list. The last two are sort of self-explanatory, but Bond fighting a snake in Moonraker and Blofeld's multiple underwhelming deaths in Diamonds Are Forever are both unnecessary and stupid enough that they make this list. So with that out of the way, let's start this bad boy. Number 10, blowing himself up, A View to a Kill. This one is really a bummer more than anything else because it happens as the film's climax is going on. You have a pretty intense fight between Bond and Zorn on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, and after an awesome kill by Bond, having this utter stupidity going down behind him is questionable, to put it lightly. Max Zorn's evil Nazi dad is tied at the bridge in a blimp, and after lighting up dynamite for some reason, which begs the question of why they have dynamite in the first place. He slips and whoa, blimp goes up into smoke. I mean, shit, it's a darn cartoon, look at it. The reason this one angers me is because the entire point of the Nazi character, if you boil it down, is that they can have an evil person blow up something at the end of the movie. His character was literally created to cause an explosion for a climax. Number 9, Mr. Winton Kid, Diamonds Are Forever. This one's sort of a mystery for me because there are two henchmen that have sort of been silly characters all this film, but this ending is just every possible trope of stupidity thrown into one. Like, seriously, straight out of a Looney Tunes episode, you have bombs under a cake, Tiffany case just giving random cringes and screams, bottles are broken, balls are twisted, it's all here and it's all ridiculous. I'm not saying it's bad, just, very stupid for an end scene of a movie. Number 8, The Underwater Battle from Thunderball. Now this one has received abuse from just about everyone, so I'll keep it quick, but why the hell does this scene even exist? It's slow, it's sad, it's boring, because if action movie climaxes could be compared to sports, then this is the equivalent to golfing. You have one guy who everyone knows, that being Bond, just kicking a bunch of nameless people's asses in a battle they don't really care about unless you're involved. Like, what the scene should have been was Bond versus a few henchmen, kind of like how he had to fight off a few of his henchmen that Largo had earlier in the film. If the scene was done that way instead of a cluster like in the film, it would have been it's so much better, but in true Roger Moore fashion, there's one set of kills that one-ups Thunderball's glory factor.
Number 1 platoon, EVA. Number 1 platoon, EVA.
Oh yes, and number 7, the laser space fight from Moonraker. This one we knew had to be here, and now I know that this scene maybe isn't as infamous as the Thunderball scene from earlier, but this one just blows my mind. Besides the fact that James Bond turns Star Wars for a minute, this bit just dates the film so much. I've always had a sweet spot for this film, but not even I can explain how the US government sends up a fleet of armed soldiers to space in 5 minutes, and how Drax should have even prepared for something like that. This scene just makes no sense. I personally love it, but it's still ridiculous all the same.
I've come to offer my sincere condolences.
Number 6, the drag queen henchman from Thunderball. This one is my favorite kill of all because it's genuinely a good fight, but it's so stupid and kind of amazing in how it actually escalates so quickly. Like Bond sees a woman open a door for herself, but no lady does that, so Bond just beats the shit out of her, and lucky enough, turns out to be a guy. It's stupid, it's funny, and honestly, it's amazing that every writer and the director approved having this in the movie in the first place. Look, I know I love it whenever they throw in a fight in the Bond series, but this is just such a stretch to make something happen. Like, why not just have the henchman clearly be a guy? Why? Number 5, Jaws versus the Shark, the Spy Who Loved Me. I think this one was just made so then go with me on this. James Bond could jump the shark that Jaws made by having Jaws fight a great white who is now called Jaws. Yeah, pretty good logic right there, but seriously, for as devoid of logic as this scene is, what is always confusing me is how Jaws was able to get back to the mainland after killing this shark. Like, sure, he can kill a great white with his teeth, but how could he swim all the way back without the Coast Guard or MI6 or anyone finding him? Like shit, if Rocky and Rocky 3 can only swim a lap before drowning, how is it that our 7-foot giant survives this one? But anyway, logic aside, this one's fun, it's stupid, but it's awesome, and it does work in the context of how Jaws is supposed to be tougher than Bond this entire time, but for all of this, it's still pretty campy. Number 4, the 3 blind mice Dr. No. Now, unlike Jaws v. Jaws, the scene actually makes zero sense. Although to a small extent this death occurs again in a car chase in Goldfinger, and actually when Goldfinger is killed off later in the film, this one takes the cake solely on how slowly the damn car is moving when it explodes. Not only is this quote-unquote chase the slowest action through a ride of our collective lives, but to finish off 3 solid henchmen and the 3 blind mice by filling the car up with gasoline and dynamite, then throwing them off a semi-steep hill, well shit, I can't think of a better climax myself. If I believe that in my top 10 worst Bond moments videos, and for a good reason, this was here, because although there is some irony somewhere in killing off blind henchmen with a hard to watch because of its stupidity death, and there is really no reason why this exists. It dates the film, it's silly, it's impossible, it truly is one of the most ridiculous James Bond deaths.
I think they were on their way to a funeral.
Number 3, Bald Man with Cat, for your eyes only. From impossible to unbelievable, my god, the sole source of anger for an entire film comes from the killing off one of the best movie villains ever in For Your Eyes Only. I've discussed the problems with this scene in general in my ranking of the James Bond pre-title sequence, so I'll keep this one short. It failed in its effort to bring some closure to a character that we had started to forget about in the Bond series, but by killing him off with maybe the best end line in the series, well god, that's just sad. I feel bad for him. He doesn't even get a cool death. Number 2, Kananga Live and Let Die. Hey, something fun for once, guys. This kill is delightful in so many ways. You got a henchman who pays no attention. You got a literal two-faced villain, drug deals, voodoo, shotgun, compressed air bullet things, hell, sharks. This is what James Bond is about, people. I love this kill, and is by far my favorite in the series, probably. It's just so funny seeing as this is supposed to be our terrifying, corrupt mob killer ruler. The fact that it's the same man who just blows up like a balloon, it's ridiculous. Of course, Bond's quip at the end always helps the cause.
Where's Kananga?
He always did have an inflated opinion of himself.
Take the bloody shot.
Number 1, every single time Bond dies, which is, a lot. Now, I know that this is a lame answer to some, but honestly, how much more ridiculous does it get? In every single Bond film where Bond supposedly dies, he's out within the first 15 minutes, and although some of them have the reasons for doing this, such as From Russia with Love, showing how deep Spectre will go to kill Bond, or Skyfall and paying homage to the Connery years, there's just others like Thunderball and You Only Live Twice that are so clumsy and lazy in how they do it that you have to ask why they bothered to do it at all. In a series that is a cash cow literally known by every person on the planet, you aren't just going to kill off your title character in the first 15 minutes. And that is why this is my most ridiculous kill, well, kills in the James Bond series. So question, what is your favorite over-the-top stupid James Bond kill? Whatever it may be, leave in the comments section below. And as always, like, share, comment, and especially subscribe for more James Bond and movie content. Remember, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.